Outside the Box Reviews, we're taking a look at the Batman Arkham Origins Wave 1 Batman figure. And usually on these reviews, I kind of try to tease out whether I'm going to recommend it or not. I try to kind of play my cards close to the vest. But if you followed my videos, you know I'm recommending this figure because he made my top figures list the year he came out. And honestly, of the 4 Batman figures I have in my collection and more that I've owned in the past, this is my absolute favorite Batman figure I've ever owned. So let's not waste any more time. Let's take a closer look. Now, the embarrassing fact is I actually have not finished Arkham Origins at the time of recording this video. I started playing it and I got distracted and then started playing other stuff, and I've never gone back and finished it. But I do intend to finish it before playing Arkham Knight, but my knowledge on this version of Batman may be a little more limited, though from what I played so far, he has the bat suit. There's not a whole lot of discussion as to anything else about it, but this figure has a very different look than the Arkham City version, has a much more realistic look to it. I love the 5 o'clock shadow they gave to him, looking very just gruff and angry. His eyes are darker here, not the bright blue of the previous version. The head is well done, the ears are a little shorter. Around the neck, we see more armor looking pieces, kind of reminding me of the Christian Bale Batman design, where the head is a helmet and not the big cowl, but he still does have a big cape. Some interesting color choices here, almost a brownish gray around the neck, and then it becomes darker. This cape is not nearly as heavy over the shoulders, though it is over the shoulders a bit. Comes down the back here very straight, another nice, very pliable cape. And this one ends actually above his ankles. So I see this as being a much more utilitarian cape. It's not going to flow on the ground and be theatrical. This is meant for ass kicking. It's not supposed to get in the way, but it's supposed to be there, look cool, and just let Batman move, which this figure can do. Come around to the chest. I love the armored panel lines in this suit. This is a really, really cool looking costume for Batman in my opinion. There's actually kind of an embossed area around the bat symbol there. All the muscles are visible and the different little pieces of armor. He's got a darker grayish brown plastic again for his utility belt with different little pieces. He's got pouches and canisters on it. Really cool. Continues all the way around to the back. You can see more armor done back there. The upper arms continue that armored look. The gauntlets this time a little smaller, and I love the shape of the fins coming off of it. Much more evil looking, very sharp and angular, kind of matching that Nolan design a bit, but also going its own way. The underside as well, where it connects onto his arm, looking very cool. His glove, a little more simplified this time, but still nice looking. He's got his big armored up legs. Instead of having the classic underwear on the outside, it's almost like it's a thinner section of the costume, which would allow him to have more mobility in the legs. And then it bulks up again with more armor pieces coming around. I think that's a really cool way to use that classic design, but to make it make more sense. And then we have his big ass-kicking boots again, this time going all the way up into his knee pads. Very cool looking, very nice armor effect. He's got the strap going behind his leg there, and then he's got his boot. A lot of great detail on it. Nice tread pattern even, and peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Overall, just a fantastic Batman sculpt. Obviously with Batman, you're not going to get a ton of paint detail, but this one has just enough to look very cool. For articulation, a much better range this time. The head is on a ball joint. I do wish I had a disc hinge in it so you could look further up, because it really is limited up and down. But side to side and tilting, you get a great range. Pin socket shoulders go pretty far out, and forward and back is very easy. You have a hinge at the elbow as well as a rotation, which is pretty free, though you do get a little bit of hindrance out of the gauntlet. The hand is on a ball joint, so you can swivel up and down as well as rotate with it. We get an ab crunch, so you can go pretty far back and pretty far forward. Also rotation at the waist. His legs are on some pretty nice joints. They'll move pretty far forward and back as well as out to the side. He has a swivel just above the knee as well as a double jointed knee. And then a very nice foot that hinges pretty far up and down and then has a really nice pivot in it. And yeah, I absolutely love how well articulated this figure is. Now on my reviewing background here, I do have him on a display stand for this pose. And I did realize he only has a peg hole in his one foot, his right foot. There's no peg hole in his left foot, which is kind of strange. But I have been able to get him to stay in this pose unassisted without a stand on a more flat surface. And I love that. You can get Batman in a sidekick crazy pose like this and it works. That's phenomenal. And that makes a huge difference over the Arkham City version. Batman is a ninja. He needs to have that kind of articulation to reflect that, and having it makes this figure fantastic. On top of that, it has very solid paint, it has really good sculpting to it, and I just absolutely love this figure. It's a great depiction of Batman, and even though I haven't gotten into Arkham Origins nearly as much and as quick as I did the 2 previous games in the series, it's overall just a cool depiction of Batman, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. So high recommend for this figure. And this leaves a fairly high mark for the Arkham Knight Batman. I'm curious to see if that figure will hold a candle to this new one, if it will improve over this one. Very interested to see how that figure comes out. But in the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also follow me on Facebook, link below. And until next time, it's been our Outside the Box Reviews. Stay tuned for more to come.